Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is a video I have puzzled over whether to do. I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. Is it going to be really bad for my channel? Am I going to lose lots of subscribers? But in the end, I wanted to discuss this subject: internet censorship. So the website, The Daily Stormer, was effectively taken down by what amounts to a modern-day lynch mob. A lynching happened in this day and age. So the website is described as neo-Nazi, alt-right, perhaps trolling, news, hate speech. I have not visited the website, but in my line of work with security analysis, malware analysis, I have to know a little bit about quite a lot of websites. I have to look through lists upon lists of sites that people have visited and determine very quickly, is that legitimate, malicious, spam, phishing, fake sites, and I can't sit there on Google all day because that takes a lot of time. So yeah, I have to be able to recognise some of these sites very quickly. So I've not visited the Daily Stormer, I know about it, I neither condone nor applaud what they do. I don't care. That is my position. What I do care about is freedom of speech. I suppose you can say even Nazis have the right to freedom of speech. And in a democratic world, their ideas may be taken up or they may be voted away. So, here's a question. How popular was the Daily Stormer? And I can tell you, not very, quite frankly. The results from OpenDNS indicate that they received between about 800 to 2,000 DNS queries a day. This is early August. Things started to pick up a bit later in August when we had the Charlottesville... What do you call it? It's not riot. It was a battle again, wasn't it? I know it was probably reported as riots in the news, but from what I have seen, that was a small-scale battle. So, viewership increased. Then we got in the news about it being shut down. And what happens? The viewership spikes, and I can't seem to aim this cursor properly, but that looks between 20 to 40, so that's around 30,000 DNS lookups. A site which receives this pathetic low amount of visits is not really something to be taken seriously. Not many people took it seriously, not many people visited it, so why was it shut down? It clearly wasn't doing well under the ideas it was showing, because not many people visited it, not many people took it seriously. In fact, I could guess that this video you're going to watch on my Linux channel, a small operating system, will receive more views than Daily Stormer gets in a day. Got a few articles to go through here. So, The Verge. Namecheap has taken down neo-Nazi site Daily Stormer. So Namecheap was the register, and before that, the registrar was with GoDaddy. The registrar effectively points to the DNS server to access the website. Without the registrar information, without the DNS records, there is no way of converting dailystormer.com into an IP address your computer will understand. So it appears that a lot of people in a lynch mob tweeted at Namecheap and they said, "Oh, hi, thanks for reporting the case. Our legal and abuse department is looking into it." In fact, it was worse. They were kicked off by a few domains: GoDaddy, Google Domains, and a Russian registrar. When the Russians don't even allow the freedom of speech. In fact, they're not. Russia is really clamping down on freedom of speech on the internet. They're blocking a lot of websites, and they're going the way China has. In fact, I suppose going back to the days of communism, they never really had freedom of speech. You could be put in the gulag for, what would you say, just saying certain things. This is a blog post from Namecheap. So they're going on about seeing both sides of freedom of speech. On one hand, we cannot be the ones censoring content, unpopular though it may be. On the other hand, and without question, the content appearing on dailystormer.lol is highly offensive, even more so in light of recent events in Charlottesville. We find ourselves in a difficult situation where we must balance the repugnant nature of the content site, our principles, beliefs, ongoing support for free speech, This is particularly challenging that the fallout from our decision will be in the public eye and subject to public scrutiny, no matter what path we take. So, they can see some issues with what they are doing, being judge, jury, and executioner. So, I've got a question for you, Namecheap. Have you removed all the malicious sites that you have registrar details for? What's that? No, you probably haven't, so why this one? Plenty worse sites on the internet. Ones that actually affect your computer and do a lot of damage to your system. Oh, but they said some rude words on here. Someone's feelings were hurt. But not many people viewed the site, so not many people knew about it until it was put in the mainstream news. It doesn't take a PhD in mathematics to understand that white men plus pride plus organisation equals Jews being stuffed into ovens, as an example hosted on the website. Okay, it's offensive. Yes, but there are worse sites out there. Clearly endorses wholesale eradication of Jews through genocide championed by the Nazis. Yes, what Hitler ordered in World War II was absolutely horrific. Would it happen nowadays with the United Nations around? No, I doubt it. A country would not be allowed to get away with it. Thinking back to the 30s and 40s, the League of Nations at the time was utterly spineless and did nothing to stop this. So anyway, that's kind of, just because they're saying it doesn't mean it's happening. That's my thoughts on the matter. But yes, that is a vile thing to say. Addendum, I woke up this morning feeling conflicted about our decision to pull down this domain. The fact is, this should never have had to be our decision. Yes, the domain fits into our description of what constitutes incitement of violence, and I believe that their violation of our terms of service would hold up in a court of law. Again, would hold up, but has it held up? Is there any evidence that this site has been taken to court and a court order been given to pull it down? And I don't think it has been. So in a perfect world, a registrar should be able to remain neutral in these situations regardless of public opinion, but the fact of the matter is this cannot happen in reality. Any business cannot operate under these circumstances due to mob mentality and the nature of our current politics. Yeah, so you're saying you just bowed to mob mentality? Okay, I'll leave a link to all this. There's a bit more I want to go through first. So, an article from Torrent Freak. Cloudflare kicking Daily Stormer is bad news for pirate sites. I woke up this morning in a bad mood and decided to kick them off the internet. These are the words of Cloudflare CEO Matthew Prince, who decided to terminate the account of controversial neo-Nazi site Daily Stormer. Wow, woke up on the wrong side of bed and just decided to kick some sites off the internet. Great, yeah, wow, freedom of speech there, eh? What happens the day he wakes up on the wrong side of bed and decides to kick off all the Linux sites off the internet? Yeah, thanks. For years on end, Cloudflare has been asked to remove terrorist propaganda, pirate sites, and other possibly unacceptable content. Each time, Cloudflare has replied, "It doesn't take action without a court order, no exceptions." Well, I like their statement there, but why suddenly change your mind? Even if it were able to, Cloudflare does not monitor, evaluate, judge, or store content appearing on a third-party website. The company wrote just a few weeks ago in its white paper on intermediary liability. We're the plumbers of the internet, we make the pipes work, but it's not right for us to inspect what is or isn't going through the pipes. Unable to get a domain, racist Daily Stormer retreats to the dark web. We can't keep trying to get random registrars, the site admin writes. So the site cycles through a sequence of different domains, so dailystormer.com, wang, ru, and lol. In each case, the registrars cancel the domains within a day or two of their registration. We will need to find one that will give us written assurance that they will hold the line. And some thoughts are that this is not likely to happen, so the Daily Stormer has retreated to the dark web, operating as a Tor hidden service. The Tor project defends human rights, racists oppose. We are disgusted, angered and appalled by everything these racists stand for and do. We feel this way any time the Tor network and software are used for vile purposes. Wait a minute, that's pretty rich, isn't it, considering what's hosted on the Tor network? Oh, gee, let me think. Pedophilia websites? Sites which sell drugs, weapons, passwords and credit card details. Okay, but we can't build free and open source tools that protect journalists, human rights activities and ordinary people around the world if we also control who uses these tools. Tor is designed to defend human rights and privacy by preventing anyone from censoring things, even us. They don't like it, but they're not going to do anything about it. And that is almost commendable, really. The fact they're just going to leave it, because it would be pretty ironic if they did pull it down, given what else is hosted on the Tor network. And I did happen to notice this picture on their Twitter feed. When drug dealers, pedophiles and terrorists are okay, but you need to voice your concern about white nationalists. Very true. We at the Electronic Frontier Foundation defend the rights of anyone to choose what speech they provide online. Platforms have a First Amendment right to decide what speech does and does not appear on their platforms. That's what laws like that law in the United States enable and protect. But we strongly believe that what GoDaddy, Google and Cloudflare did was dangerous. That's because even when the facts are most vile, we must remain vigilant when platforms exercise these rights, because internet intermediaries, especially those with few competitors, control so much online speech, the consequences of their decisions have far-reaching impacts on speech around the world. And at EFF, we see the consequences firsthand every time a company throws a vile neo-Nazi site off the net. Thousands of less visible decisions are made by companies with little oversight or transparency. Precedents being set now can shift the justice of these removals. Yes, quite right, this sets a dangerous precedent and shows that sites can be removed just because a few angry people demand it. And that is a dangerous situation because whilst they demand something that may seem very fair and reasonable, that Nazis should not be allowed a platform to stand on, but what happens when this drifts down towards more centre point of political beliefs, towards, say, conservatives, and then towards liberals? So are we just going to say, yes, all conservatives should not have a voice on the internet? It's a dangerous thought, but the trouble is you set the precedents now, and this can now easily be achieved. And we've seen things like this with blocking. So when demands were made to block pedophilia sites, it seemed fair and reasonable because, yes, think of the children. But then these blocks are now used to prevent access to torrent sites, to streaming sites. And why? Just because they host content that the media companies don't like. What starts now with a small, fair and reasonable thing can be widened further, and that is the danger of it. So if you made it through the video, thanks for watching. I'll see you all later.